Hello, my name is Marcus Ruiz Evans. I'm your host for today. We're going to do a speech on how America did not repudiate Donald Trump. I'll be doing it on StreamYard to test the viability of the program. Biden represents a return to decency and a repudiation of Trump. That's what we Californians were told. Kids in cages, reporters blocked from those kids, lawyers blocked from those children in cages, showers blocked and not allowed for the children. That's all things Trump did. And yet, this is still happening under Joseph Biden. Trump started or stated that the border was an unprecedented crisis, super emergency. And that's why he had to have migrant children in those horrible conditions. No one cared. Trump was blamed for being incompetent. How is it different with Joseph Biden? Joseph Biden also says this is an unprecedented situation and it's a crisis, and that's why he's not able to provide the best care. That's what Trump said. Biden has been in power for literally months on end, and there was almost an identical continuation of the policy of kids or children in containers now, as they're called, as the best we can get from the USA. Quote, and this is from ABC TV, while the conditions may be similar to 2018, the policies are different. That's the excuse a network of ABC television is given. While the policies are different, the situation may be identical. Stimulus checks. We Californians should have gotten them in December, November, but we had to wait till January so that Trump wouldn't benefit from that and possibly win a re-election. That hurt Californians being used as political pawns. Then we were promised $2,000 checks by Joseph Biden. That would have paid for a month's rent for Californians, but that amount was changed to $1,400, not what we were promised here. So now the majority of Californians won't get benefits that benefit them, while $1,400 does benefit a majority of Americans in 46 states, but not the majority of people here in California. We were told $2,000. That would have paid for a month's rent for a majority of people here in California. We got $1,400. That will not pay for a majority of Californians' rent, while it will pay for rent for a majority of Americans. Recently, a journalist was murdered and ripped apart in medieval fashion, and Biden will say nothing about it or condemn it. When Trump looked the other way at Saudi Arabia and their brutal regime and intolerance of journalism, the world reacted. Now Biden does literally the same thing, and there's no reaction from the world. Excusing dictators, allowing reporters to be murdered, lying to people about relief and making them suffer, providing relief that is not what people need because it was politically easier to get past, placing children in cages, blocking access to reporters, blocking access to legal counsel. As Californians, we were promised that all of this was going away. Not true. Is this the new norm? Is this what America considers decent? If so, you should be shocked, because none of this is in line with California values. Here at Yes California, CalExit campaign, we recently launched a CalExit Congress. Members are people just like you, Californians who are not sure about CalExit as the solution, but who do believe, how is it unreasonable to have a conversation about what if California has to go it alone after the incredible amount of chaos that we just survived over the last 4 years? In fact, the entire world is asking the same question. Yes, Trump is gone, but America allowed Trump and his followers to ruin America and run over roughshod and result in massive amounts of distortion of the system and norms for 4 full years. Are you sure that the people who could allow that are stable? Europe's asking that, and you as a Californian should too. For example, March 24th, in a report from Reuters, European allies, such as France and Germany, are looking for a strategic balance in relations with Beijing and Washington that ensures the European Union is not so closely allied with one of the world's 2 big powers that it alienates the other. Also from that same Reuters article, March 24th, the European Union, led by France, wants independence from the United States, its ally. That came out this week. Europe is literally pulling away from America and saying to China, don't consider us as a permanent ally to America. When alliances were damaged like this under Donald Trump, the world reacted, and American news covered it. But nothing like that is happening. And yet allies from the world, the biggest allies America has, who we have built the entire American empire on since World War II, are pulling away from America and doing it this week. Many European countries are asking this question, and recently GQ UK asked the same question. How safe is the long-term bet on the continued stability of the USA? In that GQ UK magazine article, they specifically mentioned, yes, California by name as something Californians may pursue, even though Trump was unelected. GQ magazine is not alone. Nate Silver of 538 and The Nation magazine all said the same thing after Biden was chosen by barely over half of America. What if Trump or someone worse happens again? There's nothing to stop that. And yet the hits keep coming. We will discuss additional signs that the return to decency is not in line with California values. The Derek Chauvin case is in return or in response to the murder of George Floyd, an American who died last year. The case is already talking about, did Chauvin, the police officer, follow proper procedure? And was Floyd on drugs at the time? None of this is relevant to the fact that a police officer murdered a man while he was screaming for his life live on television. And we all know that. Yet the system that allows for qualified immunity for the police is not on trial, nor is the system of institutional racism in police departments across America. It seems as though America under Biden can't deal with the police brutality and institutional racism or make things better than they were under Trump on this particular issue. Additionally, the stimulus could devalue the dollar. America is pumping out a lot of money out of debt to pay for the stimulus for coronavirus and to prevent a recession. America is more in debt than it ever has been before and is going to expand that by a large amount. What if the dollar collapses because America is spending beyond what it can afford? America went into debt with the Iraq war, then even more debt with the 2008 crisis, then even more debt with Obamacare, then even more debt by removing taxes for the rich, and then now we're going into even more debt funding this recession. In fact, the bill's been stretched to new heights that the USA has never seen in its 300-year or 250-year history. If you can watch the Chauvin case and think justice is being handled, if you can see the crazy spending spree and lack of concern about debt management and think everything's fine, if you can watch kids in cages still, lawyers being blocked, children being blocked from showers, reporters' deaths unacknowledged, dictators excused, lies about desperately needed help, and not getting the help when you need it, when you are most in need, and seeing alliances that are strategically important to America continue to fall apart, and still think everything's fine, then please never come to a Yes California Calexit meeting. But if any of this worries you about the long-term stability of America, please join us this and every Sunday at 11 and set the agenda for Californians, because we are having the most important conversation Californians desperately need to have.